Hey guys, Jason from the Glitter Guy here, and today we're going to take the Quack Pack subscription box craft, which was a Coffin hip flask, and we're going to turn it into something a little more spooky with an acrylic paint pour on one side. What came in the box here, you have an option of choices. Plain white acrylic paint, the mica powders, and I tried to go with a Halloween theme, so you have red, black pearl, fluorescent green, saffron, which is an orange, and magic violet. I experimented previously, and I'm gonna go with 3 colors for mine. You can go with as many as you want. I'm gonna go with black pearl, green, and magic violet. So we're gonna get rid of these guys, and that's why I have 3 cups here ready for mixing. You're gonna take a decent amount of white paint in each of these, and then we're gonna get a stir stick, little popsicle stick will work for each separate so we don't contaminate our colors. We're gonna just put a little healthy amount of powder in there, and when you stir, start slow, because if you just go crazy at first, you're gonna get a big puff of powder in the face and you're gonna regret it, I promise. Because we're starting with white, obviously all the colors are going to be like a very lightened version. So that's why I went with the black, because it ends up with this like nice charcoal. Cap up your stuff, like I said, so we don't contaminate. Decent amount. If you want it a little brighter, you can always add a little more powder, but you can't go back, so I always go little bits at a time. Stuff capped. Since this is a pour, we need it to be able to pour. And this stuff, as you can see, is a little bit thick. So we need to add a little bit of water. All right, so we want to add enough water to make these thin enough to pour, but not too thin. Now, obviously, we can go back and add more white paint in, or even more mica powder to go back and thicken it up. The consistency that we're looking for is where it drips off easily. Yeah, that's what we're looking for right there. Do the same thing with green and purple. All right, our 3 colors are mixed. So what we're gonna wanna do is have a clean, smooth plastic surface. This was an insert from a shopping bag. This was literally just gonna be trash, but it's actually perfect size, smooth. What can make this easier for you is if you tape that to a cardboard so that you can work it around while you're pouring. So we're gonna take any color first and just start doing something fun. Just do a pattern. And then we'll go on to the green, violet, put it on both sides. Mix and match where your colors fall, you know. There's no right or wrong way to do this part. And this is where you let it flow. Just kind of let it do its thing. Keep on letting it slide around until you're happy. You have all that clear space to work with, and keep in mind, your flask is only this big. So I like what's happening here and here. Let it sit, it'll stop flowing, and let it dry. Once it dries, that'll probably take about a day. Come back and it'll peel right up. So what I have was to do my first one. I actually had already done this, and that's how I learned which colors I liked. This was the true red, the green, and the violet. The true red obviously looks a little more pink with the white, but I still liked it. It looks a little blood-like. So if you look at what it looks like on the other side, get this nice, cool, smooth texture. If you see, for my first one, it's just a cutout. So all we're gonna do after this is dry is find a good spot. Let's get this out of the way. That we like pattern-wise. And what I did was I kind of just pushed on it, and that let me know where the outline was. It helped me cut it out. So if you press, this is just dry paint, you know, so it'll rip right away easily if you want to do it that way. You don't need clean lines, but you can do clean lines. This is your flask. I find that there's beauty in chaos. Just rip it away. You can keep that for another one if you want. Toss it. You can experiment with your shades of paint too if you want to mix the powders to try and come up with new shades and colors. Pretty good look, pretty good coverage that we have there. So what we want to do is we want some Mod Podge. And I'm going to take a little bit of Mod Podge. Got our brush. Just a nice thin coat. Mod Podge anywhere that you're going to be applying your skin. You don't need to do the whole side. If you wanted to, you rip this in half and just do the top half. Paint the bottom. I did not paint this one. I did base my other one out in black, but my other one I put glitter on my sides. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that with this one, but I did want it to be able to have a black base underneath there. It is unnecessary. It is just an extra step for the look that I was going for. Got our Mod Podge. Now we can apply our skin. Nice glued down. Now it'll be even easier if I do want cleaner edges. Once the Mod Podge dries, obviously what isn't glued won't want to stay, and I will be able to just peel or rip that portion away. That is one side for now. You can put a little bit more Mod Podge on top just to help seal it down. Mod Podge does dry clear. You want to overlap your edges a little. So now we're going to have to let the Mod Podge dry, but that will only take a few minutes. Another item in the box that was for this was a digital download, and that was 5 different water slide designs. We have a coffin, spider webs, skulls, bloody handprints, and then some jack-o'-lantern guys. I printed these ahead on, this is white water slide. You can do it on clear water slide. That's your choice. I went with the white water slide this time just because I wouldn't have to prep the base then. It doesn't matter what's underneath. The last one, I did the spiderweb pattern. This time, jack-o'-lantern. For this portion, once your Mod Podge is dry on the back of your acrylic paint skin, you want to have a little bowl or apparatus with just a bit of water. These water slides are small, so I only have a little bit of water in there. Let your water slide soak. You'll know if it's ready, right, if it starts sliding. So once the image knows you know it'll slide off, you can get it started. Line up your edges. These should be, as long as you cut it out nicely, should be measured to fit pretty well. And there we go. Silicone brush is helpful to squeegee out any of the water underneath. Go very gently so we don't scratch the image. Get our wrinkles out. Slide this up just a touch. All right. Let the water dry out of that a little bit. You know, once it's all squeegeed from behind, you can blow on it, put it in front of a fan, put it outside, whatever. After everything dries, you're gonna wanna seal everything. So we can either seal it with Mod Podge or spray sealant, but you're gonna wanna seal the water slide and make sure that this finishes sealing on the back. And then I will come back for the next step. All right, so once your water slide is dry and everything is sealed, the sky's the limit on what you want to do. The box came with 4 different glitter options, one of which is a spider shape, and I am going to use that. Just like I used it on the last one. If you guys can see, I placed a few different spiders just to add a little extra spider, you know, holographic spider effect to that. That was neat. So I'm gonna do the same thing to my pumpkins. Grab our Mod Podge, and now the sides, if you wanted to apply glitter, this is where they should be based out in a color, and obviously you'll get much better coverage. I was being a bit lazy this time, but you know what? I'm even thinking differently. I'm gonna put some mica powders on the side, because that's an option too. Now, the mica powder, we want to take a dry brush. Also, to make holding your flask a little bit easier, what I did, I should have been doing it from the start, is I have these cool pen chucks that I'd gotten, and I modified it. I snapped off the end a little bit, I added a bunch of tape, and then I can hold it. Not only that, but it has a handle. So I can put it in the handle and I can work a little better now. And it's keeping my handle, you see how dyed my hands are. You can dry brush, powder in here, kind of just like however we want. We can have a little more fun color-wise. I did not do this previously, so I'm not sure exactly how this is going to come out, but I don't think that it's going to be bad. I do not recommend double dipping. You should have an extra brush. Yeah, I like that. It's like a distressed kind of look. If I had a third brush, I would alternate violet in here too. And I just dipped the green brush, the black brush in the green. I just did that. Guilty. Kind of beat up looking. So, just like before, in between steps, we want to seal. You should go outside and do this. I'm gonna let that dry. Should not take too long. We will apply a couple of our little spiders. We will apply a name. Then it will be ready for a final coat of epoxy. Now that our Coffin Flask is sealed, we are ready to put a name or decal or anything. You can put, RIP or Poison, 3 X's. What I decided to do is put my name on it since I'm so vain. And I thought instead of just putting it in plain vinyl, I grabbed a sheet of our Sweet and Corny extra small printed vinyl and cut my name out of that on the silhouette. I got my name ready here, already on the transfer paper. You know what, I'm gonna go crooked this time. I went straight last time. I'm gonna go with a little crooked application. Just get lined up however you want it to be on your surface. And also you can put your name on the printed vinyl, or I'm sorry, the waterslide side. But I wanted to put it on this side. I thought it looks just pretty cool with all the distressed stuff around it. Peel back a transfer paper, and boom, now we have a name. I wanted to apply a couple of my little spiders too, and I think just doing little dabs of Mod Podge will be easiest for that, so that we don't make like a big mess and have to go over the whole thing. We got arachnophobia in this. I know some of the sub boxes got Aragog, which is the black spider. Either way, you get a cool holographic spider. Just a little dot. Grab one of these guys. You use tweezers. They're kind of big enough to grab with your hands. There we go. Just gonna stick them right where I put a little bit of that glue. Don't worry if the Mod Podge is on top a little, because like I said, it dries clear. Maybe another one right there. And on the other side, boop. There you go. Now, this is also the portion if you want to put any of the glitter on it. I put a bunch of glitter, like I said, on my first one, so this one I'm actually not going to put any more glitter on. But the first one I did use Oh Look. I thought the colors really went with the whole theme. A lot of purples. Python is in this box, so that has a lot more of the green shades in it. That would probably match this one a lot better. And then also on the back here is Hocus Pocus. I sprinkled just a little bit of that. So that's a chunky mix with a lot of violets and purples. Once you're happy with the name, the spiders, the color, everything, now you want to do your final coat of epoxy. So your box came with CC DIY artist resin, little sample packs. This is way more than enough than you'll need to epoxy this. Like I said, find a good way to get this hooked up to your turner. I found that my pen turner attachment with some tape around it, a little slight modification, was great for this. So I'm gonna just take this guy and come on over to my cup turner, just like that. I have a nice attachment and she'll spin. It's a little bit heavy, so when it goes around, it has a small jump, but it hasn't been that big. What I considered doing, if I wanted to modify a second pen, was just putting a second Coffin or something a similar weight right across from it, just to kind of balance it. So the epoxy, you're going to want to put equal parts. I have small measuring cups, part A, part B. Get those mixed, a nice, clean, even coat. Give it a day to cure, and you will have a beautifully finished hip flask for all your friends to be jealous over during this spooky season. And not just that, the neon green is actually blacklight responsive. So the more neon green mica you use, the cooler the effect. Pull this out in the middle of a haunted house, everybody's gonna be super jealous. All right, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to Glitter Guy on all social media channels, and make sure that you guys are subscribed to the Quack Pack bi-monthly subscription box for more cool crafts like this.